The Mercer mansion still carried the faint perfume of roses. Just the night before, Daniel Mercer and his wife Eivelyn had hosted an elegant gathering to renew their wedding vows. Guests had described the evening as almost magical, laughter echoing through the great hall, champagne glasses raised under crystal chandeliers, and a carefully rehearsed kiss between husband and wife as friends applauded. But as the dawn broke, the house was no longer alive with joy. Instead, silence hung in the air, broken only by the slow ticking of the old clock in the hallway. Daniel Mercer was discovered in his bedroom, lifeless. He was lying neatly on the bed, a wine glass overturned beside him, a faint trace of red poison staining his lips. His wedding ring, strangely, had been removed from his finger and placed deliberately on his chest, as though someone wanted the gesture to carry meaning. Detective Clara Hayes, a seasoned investigator known for her sharp eye and unshakable calm, arrived just after sunrise. Rain clung to her coat as she stepped inside. She had seen many crime scenes before, yet this one felt carefully staged, almost theatrical. It was as though the killer had not simply ended a life but had also tried to write a story with the corpse. Clara began her investigation with Eivelyn Mercer, the widow. Eivelyn sat by the fire, her hands resting on a cup of untouched tea. She spoke of her marriage with calm precision, saying that for 15 years she and Daniel had shared a life of comfort and devotion. Yet when pressed further, she admitted she had recently learned of his infidelity. Clara observed her carefully. Eivelyn's grief was restrained, almost too controlled. She said that she had chosen forgiveness, claiming that loyalty was not proven during perfect times but when betrayal tested one's resolve. Clara made a mental note. Forgiveness could be an act of strength, or it could mask darker feelings. Next, Clara spoke with Julian Moore, Daniel's closest friend since childhood. Julian described Daniel as a brother, someone he had defended and supported through countless trials. His grief appeared raw, but Clara noticed something unusual in the way he spoke of Eivelyn. His tone softened whenever her name arose, his admiration almost too evident for someone speaking only as a friend. When asked about Daniel's affair, Julian admitted he had known about it for months, but explained that loyalty had kept him silent. Clara considered the possibility that such loyalty could twist under pressure, turning devotion into jealousy. Clara then interviewed Amelia, Daniel's mistress. Amelia was fiery, emotional, and unrestrained. She declared that Daniel had promised to leave Eivelyn, insisting that the vow renewal was only a performance meant to keep up appearances. According to Amelia, Daniel had told her that he planned to confess everything afterward. Her grief felt unpolished, almost uncontrolled, yet as Clara listened carefully, she realized Amelia knew nothing of the poisoning. Amelia seemed convinced Daniel had been physically attacked, a mistake she would not have made if she had been involved. This ignorance suggested that Amelia's pain was genuine, and though her love had motive, her lack of detail weakened suspicion against her. Before we continue, encourage this channel with a like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow and reach more audience. Thank you. As Clara pieced the fragments together, the investigation began to sharpen. The poisoned glass contained only Daniel's fingerprints. The rare extract used as poison was traced back to a recent purchase made under Julian's name. Eivelyn's late-night phone records revealed long conversations, not with Daniel, but with Julian. The narrative was becoming clearer. Eivelyn remained loyal to her husband, but leaned heavily on Julian in secret. Julian, in turn, appeared to harbor a deeper, more dangerous loyalty to Eivelyn than to Daniel. Clara revisited Eivelyn. Eivelyn admitted she had turned to Julian for emotional support during Daniel's affair, but she insisted nothing romantic had taken place. She claimed her loyalty to Daniel, however painful, had not wavered. Clara noted that Eivelyn seemed more broken by Julian's arrest than by Daniel's death, a subtle but telling detail. Finally, Clara summoned Julian back to the mansion. The storm outside battered the windows as she laid the evidence before him: the poison purchase, the phone calls, the quiet longing he had never spoken aloud. She told him that he had killed Daniel not out of hatred, but out of love. He had convinced himself that by removing Daniel, he was liberating Eivelyn. Confronted with the truth, Julian collapsed under the weight of his own emotions. He confessed, saying that Daniel had humiliated Eivelyn with his affair and that he, Julian, had been the only one who truly valued her. His loyalty, he claimed, had not been to Daniel but to Eivelyn, and it had driven him to commit the unthinkable. He said love was not always gentle, that sometimes it forced a person to become a villain, simply to prove they had been the only one loyal all along. Julian was arrested, but the confession left Eivelyn shattered. She had not wished for her husband's death, despite his betrayal. Her loyalty, however bruised, had still been tied to him. Now she was left with the knowledge that Julian's devotion, meant to protect her, had instead destroyed everything she had known. As Detective Clara Hayes departed the mansion, she looked once more at Daniel's ring, still lying on his chest. The object was meant to symbolize devotion and unity, yet within the Mercer household, love and loyalty had been twisted into weapons. In the end, Clara thought, the vow had indeed been kept, but in a way no one had foreseen, and at a cost no one had wanted to pay.